Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. It's been about a week. I haven't had anything going on but just sanding and epoxy and priming and the same old stuff that you've seen me do before, so I didn't want to bore you with just some more videos of me doing those things. But I'm also working on another project at the same time as this Vader, and I'll show you a little preview of that right here. That is Chewbacca. I'm working on a Chewbacca build also. So I've got my stilts. Let me get those. Got some stilts. And I got some hair. Big bag of hair here. And I'll show you these parts. So the Vader, I wanted to try some different stuff with this one because I've just, last time, like when I did the Death Trooper, I just did, I did epoxy on the bare print. As soon as it came off the printer, kind of cleaned it up a little bit, sanded it, and then did epoxy on it. I wanted to try putting the epoxy on top of like a finished piece. So I went ahead and finished out the shins, and then painted them with some flat black, and then coated them with epoxy. So using the epoxy as like a clear coat instead of using a normal spray clear coat. Well, I mean, it works great. I like it. It's got a good finish. There's still some spots though, if you can see these, just some like little tiny things that kind of got into the epoxy, I guess, while I was mixing it, or maybe just some dust particles or something that fell on it. But anyways, it does work. So that's definitely one way to do it. Excuse me. I just wanted to kind of experiment. So I did these. I filled in like the cracks and stuff with Bondo, and then I did the whole wood filler to smooth out some of the print lines, and then I did filler primer, Rust-Oleum filler primer, the thick stuff, and then I sanded it. I've sanded for, gosh, I feel like I've been sanding for 3 weeks, which I have. Did the filler primer, and then I did flat black. I'll show you the paint that I used on these. It's a different paint than what I used on the Death Trooper. Oh, okay. So on this, I used the Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch 2-time cover flat black. And it's like it's a massive can. Now on the Death Trooper, I used the flat black Rust-Oleum camouflage paint, which this is awesome paint. I don't know if you've ever used it before or tried it, but if you're looking for a flat black or a gloss black with a clear coat, or a gloss black, because you can always hit it with a gloss clear coat afterwards, it's an awesome paint. It sprays like really thick and covers really well. So just keep that in mind if you've got anything that you're painting black. If you want it flat, it's fine. If you want it glossy, hit it with some gloss and it'll be like the Death Trooper stuff that I have. But anyway, so I was just tinkering around, trying different things. So this is just on, these shoulder bells are just, this is just a bare print with epoxy on it. These were taken all the way to flat black, and then I coated them in epoxy. Now this, the shoulders, I covered it in epoxy to begin with. Covered it in epoxy to get rid of some of the lines. And then I sanded, and then I primed, and then I wood filler, all that good stuff, and I got it to the prime stage here, and then I coated it with epoxy just to see what it would do with this primer, and it actually coated it really well. There's not very many spots that are bad. There's a couple of little spots where you can see where dust or something has landed on there, but overall it's pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray all these down with some primer, so I can see any little spots that need to be fixed or anything, and then we'll go from there. But just wanted to kind of touch base with you guys and let you know I haven't forgotten about filming or anything. I've actually been filming me time lapse doing the sculpture on the Chewbacca face, and that's the first 3D model that I've ever made. I made it in ZBrush. I'm working on the feet as well, so I'm gonna have that video coming pretty soon. It's just gonna be a time lapse of me. What I did is I designed the face, and you know, the sizes, the dimensions, everything are the same as like there's an original Chewbacca mask that was up for sale or for auction. It might still be going on, I don't know. So I just kind of took that as a reference and kind of designed this in ZBrush, and then I printed it out. First time I've ever printed anything that I designed. And I printed the front of the face, and I printed the top, like my hat, how it comes across the back of my head. I printed that part of the back of the head as well. So I laid the head, or the face, down on this, I think it's a piece of mesquite here. And then I just got some sulfur-free clay. It's for mold making, and I've just been putting the clay on top of my 3D print. So I'm essentially just building it up and then building all these little characters, like these little wrinkles in the forehead, the lips, building those up, the nose. That has been a pain to get this somewhat correct. I'm still not completely happy with it, but it looks a heck of a lot better than it did when I first started. So that's that. See if I can show y'all kind of some different angles of his face here. Pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about how this is turning out, but I wanted y'all to see that. I've actually got the tripod set up right here and my naked mannequin. I need to put the Death Trooper on it. Got the tripod set up to where I can do a time lapse for you guys like this, so you can see me building it. Time lapses are always cool. I like them. They're neat. But anyways, guys, let's prime these things and check it out and see how good they're. If there's anything that I need to fix, or if they look good enough to paint. We'll see. Let's do it. I forgot one thing. I forgot to show y'all the helmet. So there's the mask portion of the helmet. It actually looks really good. I've sanded the heck out of it. And I sanded these little, there's these little, if you can see right on the cheek there. See if I can hold it and show you. Right here, there's these little, it's like a little raised part that's supposed to be on there. That's where it's supposed to separate, you know. It's where how it comes off of his, so he gets it off of his head. But I was an idiot and I sanded those off during the first sanding process, so I had to add those in there. And then the dome, I'm not very happy with the dome right now. There's a line, you can see it right there, just faint line. If I hold it the right direction of where I piece, because this was 5 pieces, so other than that, it looks all right. There's a line on the back there. I still need to fix those spots, but I've just kind of been messing with it a little bit on and off because I got frustrated with it. I'll eventually get it to where it's super smooth, but it just takes a little time. So yeah, and then I got the front of the chest box primed, and I have the back of the chest box. I'm not gonna prime that. It's just gonna be on the back. Won't even see it anyway, so. But that's it. So, all right, let's get to do some primer and some paint. I'm gonna do some paint on the face mask, some black. All right. So now we're going to hit this with some flat black Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch. Hold this first. Get this bottom. All right, so it's kind of a short and sweet video, really. I mean, I wanted to come back in here after painting those and priming those just to show you what they look like, because it's hard to show you out there under the lights. It's already dark here, so I'm working in the dark. So let me show you what this mask looks like so far. And this is a flat black too, so it's still glossy in some spots where it's wet. But man, this thing is looking awesome. And I clean these little, there's these little things, see, underneath the eyes, the eye bags, there's these little bitty indentions. There it is. I cleaned those out really good when I was sanding. Installed the grills. But man, this thing looks so cool. It's really smooth. I mean, you can't tell right now because it's glossy and flat in different spots, but yeah, it's gonna be really cool when this is done. But there's that. Let me show you what these other pieces look like that I primed. And like I was saying earlier, is the shoulder. Let me see if it's dry. It's pretty dry. The shoulder was, I printed it, sanded it, put the pieces together with CA glue and accelerator. Then I used the glazing spot putty for the seams. And then I covered it all in wood filler, sanded it all back down to where it was smooth, and then I primed it. And that's where I was at before I just primed it again. So I primed it, and then I epoxied over the primer, the filler primer, and then I just primed it again with that that Rust-Oleum. Here it is. The Rust-Oleum fast drying professional primer. It's a big can. Trying to get more primer there, but that stuff's pretty good. I used it before. You can sand it as well. I mean, it doesn't fill in, of course, like filler primer, but it coats really well. And this is there's a couple of spots where the epoxy was a little funky, but a little bit of that line, I can still see that. I'm just gonna sand it down again and then prime it again and keep doing that until I build it up to where it's all even. But yeah, this looks good. I'm happy with that. Let me get these shins. Actually, I'll just get one of the shins. They both look exactly the same. Okay, I see one spot already that I still need to fix. Okay, so right underneath, see if I can get the right angle here. Right underneath there, I can still see print lines. Which that's going to be easy to fix. I'll just hit it with some of this glazing spot putty. But other than that, it's really, really smooth. It's probably hard to tell on there, but I can see a little bit of this line right here too when the light hits it just the right way. And that bothers me, so I'll fix that too. But other than that, this thing looks really, really good. And the other one looks exactly the same. Couple of spots that need to be fixed, but overall it's coming together really good. The only other pieces that I primed were the shoulder bells, and a bug did land on this one. So these were just the raw print. Coated the raw print in epoxy. I didn't do any wood filler, nothing on it. Just epoxy, and you can still see some of the lines in some spots, like right there, and some right there. But really, overall, that epoxy coats it pretty dang good. And that's just raw print, epoxy, and primer. You can tell on the inside. That's just raw print with epoxy on it, and number 2, because I don't want to get confused as they look exactly the same. I don't want to get confused as to which one it is. But yeah, you can still see some lines in there. I can see them when the light hits it the right way. But man, they're coming along pretty nice. So that's all those pieces, guys. This video is just kind of short and sweet. I kind of just wanted to remind you that I'm still here, really, and let you know what I've been working on. It's pretty much been the same things. Just sanding, priming, putty, wood filler, you name it. I've been doing it at night. I don't have a whole lot of time during the day because I have a day job, of course. But yeah, that's what's been going on. I hope you like this, guys, and I hope you guys will like and subscribe if you're not subscribed, because I got a bunch of cool stuff coming. Especially with the Chewie build and the Vader build. This thing's gonna be so awesome. So you guys stay tuned, and I will see you really soon, because I think today is Wednesday. So I'm gonna try to do that time lapse. I'm gonna post it probably Saturday. So I'll have the time lapse on the Chewie face mold. Should have it up on Saturday. So, and then I'll update you guys on the Vader as well. But you guys have a good night. I'll see you on the next one.